What's up, everybody out there, all you Hawaiians, both near, far, and everywhere in between. Hope you guys are having a great day so far, or a great week, whatever it may be. Welcome back to my podcast, the A Hawaiian podcast, which is hosted by A Hawaiian. Sorry, got a little something in my mouth. I go by the name of Kalei2K. Hope you guys are having, like I said, a great day. This is my podcast, my personal therapy, my personal place of just sharing my knowledge or whatever it may be, basically events in my life that I just want to keep as a record. But first off, I want to start off with the Mana'o moment, and we're going to dive in by going like this. I didn't post on July 4th like I normally do. I usually try to get this podcast recorded and uploaded and all that stuff by the 4th, by the Monday. But I figured, you know what? I don't want to set something up because that should be a time, especially for, you know, U.S. citizens and whatnot, to celebrate the 4th of July, celebrate the time, you know, the independence of this great country of the United States of America, be able to spend time with family overall. And that was another big reason why I was like, you know what, don't worry about posting, don't worry about putting something together real quick, and, you know, because first of all, who's going to listen on 4th of July, right? Everyone's going to be like, okay, I'm going to go hang out with my family, go hang out with my friends, barbecue time, summertime, pool time, ocean time to just kick back, relax, enjoy some drinks, enjoy family time, enjoy, you know, just hanging out and celebrating the 4th of July for what it is. I know back home in Hawaii, it's not that big of a deal, but out here in Utah, it's a huge thing here. And so I'm going to lead right into that. You know, so first of all, sorry about that. I didn't post. If you guys were looking to find something or looking to listen to something, I apologize. I just felt that it wasn't necessary, and it wasn't something that, you know, I wanted you guys to not listen to me, but go hang out with your family. You know what I mean? So, and honestly, I didn't think anybody was going to listen to begin with. So anyway, leading into that, 4th of July for us was great. We got to hang out with friends and family, got to meet my wife's cousin's boyfriend. So we got to meet him for the first time. Nice boy. You know, he was very funny, local guy, from Hawaii as well, local Filipino boy. Really nice kid. Got to eat a lot of good food. My wife's grandma is here, and I'll explain all that stuff. But my wife's grandma is here visiting us. She made chicken and wild rice, and this is the best chicken. It's simple as it is, as simple as it says, chicken and wild rice. It is a delicious meal that I've had only with my wife's family, I believe. So when my wife and I were dating, you know, my wife's grandma was like, oh, you know, come over, have dinner, this and that. I was going through family issues and all this other stuff, but I wanted to be around my wife. You know, well, my girlfriend at the time, you know, before we got married. But her grandma had made this dish, and it was just like, it's just as simple as it says, chicken and wild rice and butter. Just butter everything. But it was so damn good. You know when you guys hit that meal that gives you that ratatouille moment where you bite into it and it just brings you back to your childhood? You know, every time I eat this meal, it just brings me back to that first moment, just how everything tastes, the smell, so rich, so delicious, and so simple. That was it. Like, literally when my wife said, oh, this is chicken and wild rice. That's it. There's no fancy, like, cordon bleu or or whatever kind of fancy word you want to put on it. It's just simple chicken and wild rice. That's it. And as simple as it was, it tastes better every single time. It brings me back to heaven and back. Like, literally just disappear. I have that, you know, that Doctor Strange outer body astrophysical form experience as I watch myself devour this fowl of the earth, this chicken, you know, and this wild rice, so delicious, you know. So, and I got to explain to my wife's other auntie and tell her, like, you know, this grandma brought this dish to your home, you know, to go along with the potluck, because that's how we do local style. We just get together. We literally have any excuse. We make up any excuse just to get together and hang out. That's like the biggest thing that we enjoy doing. Okay, so if you haven't been around a Polynesian, or if you haven't just been around people in Hawaii, born and raised in there, we literally make excuses to get together. We literally just hang out and have fun and do all these kinds of cool stuff, just to be around each other. That's like a big main thing, and that's something that I'm happy to have with my wife and her family. And with me and my family, we're working on it. All right, we just put it out. We're working on it. We're working on some stuff. But anyways, so I explained to my wife's aunt. I said, this meal right here, is the best meal you will ever have. The best chicken and rice you will ever have. Like everybody has fried chicken and rice, or or stir fry or whatever. This chicken and wild rice, to die for. And I asked my wife to make it for me for my birthday. She doesn't have to buy me a gift. She doesn't have to spend a lot of money on me. Chicken and wild rice for dinner and a cupcake. It doesn't matter. Like it to me, like I said, I'm not that picky. I'm not, I'm not expensive. I'm not bougie, to say the least. Like, look, I have no guests in this podcast. It's literally me just talking, spitting what's out on my mind. So you can obviously, and I'm wearing Walmart attire. Okay, you can buy this stuff at Walmart. So I'm wearing Walmart attire, not sponsored, whatever. I'm just putting it out there. But I'm a very simple person, and this meal it's my birthday gift every year. Like, that's all I care for is just food. And that's, I don't know if anybody else is like that, but that's how I am. If you go above and beyond, like, oh, here's food, oh, here's your chicken and wild rice, and a gift, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But I'm super serious when I say this chicken and wild rice is good. We'll be fine. So we got to spend time with family on 4th of July. This is one of the moments where I'm like, oh, thank God it's not my money. Thank you, Jesus, it's not my money. Because my wife's uncle and her cousins just blew the street off, basically. Let's, like back home in Hawaii, they just try to spend as much money as they can on fireworks to literally blow up the island. So the block we were on, everybody knew, oh, that's the house, that's the Hawaiians. Boom, 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 just setting bombshells off, really, basically just exploding stuff. And it was fun because before the magnificent light show that my wife's uncle put together and her cousins, which was basically just hurry up and light everything, the kids got to play. They got to play with smoke bombs, they got to play with blooming flowers, they got to play with crackling balls, and my girls had a blast. Of course, my youngest one, she was kind of scared because of all the loud noises and stuff, but my other two were just like, oh yeah, Dad, let's get the glow sticks out, let's light up some smoke bombs and just throw it out on the street. And in my head, I'm like, man, I remember when we were kids, we used to throw that stuff at each other. We used to literally light the blooming flowers, throw them under cars. We knew which ones exploded, which ones didn't. But when cars would drive by, we'd throw the ones that don't explode underneath the car, or we'd light like a blooming flower right next to our friend and just throw it right next to their feet and just scare them. We did all of that, So it was very, very cool for us very, very cool for me to experience that with my kids, and to just see how much of a joy they were having in celebrating 4th of July. So I raise this glass to the independence of the United States of America. Happy 4th of July. And if you're watching on YouTube and you see my nails are blue, it's because I have a 2-year-old. Okay, and my 2-year-old just decided, Daddy, I want to paint your nails. So I don't deny that. I actually enjoy it because that's me and my daughter having one-on-one time to just talk, to share, to just hang out, so I look forward to that. So yeah, it's kind of blue, a little bit messed up. It's kind of a junky kind fingernail paint, but it's worth it. It's the time that I'm looking for. So with that being said about time, let's rewind it. Okay, so for those of you who have been paying attention, those of you who have been listening, thank you so much. Thank you for coming back. My family and I just recently went to the big island of Hawaii to go visit friends, family, do things that were important to us. And I kind of just wanted to break it down. This will be like part 1 of everything, and then part 2 will come later, but probably in the next episode. But for now, let's talk about us flying there. Okay, so I was just working, didn't know when we were actually going to leave until my wife set a date. I set aside time, called into work, let them know this is what's going to happen. Did that. When we flew, first of all, I just want to thank, I don't know those families that were on the flight with us, but I just want to thank those people who allowed my oldest daughter to sit beside them. So we had 3 seats, the aisle, and then another seat over. And my daughter sat there, and she sat there with, strangers. So we had A, B, C, um, an F. Wait, A, B, C. I think that's how it goes. A, B, C, D. Oh, an E. Yeah. Whatever. But they had that. My daughter had an aisle seat that was not connected to us, basically. So she was there watching her videos, using her tablet, and she would fall asleep. And the couples that were there, because we had to fly from here to Seattle. That was okay. It was a 2-hour hop over, not too bad. But the couple that was there, watching her, they took care of her, made sure she was okay. And even the people that were sitting by her when we flew to Hawaii, which is a lot longer flight, were very kind to her. Were monitoring her, making sure she was fine. And I was sitting right next to her, because of the aisle, whatever. I had the other aisle seat, so I would check on her, pull her off of the couple, and once the husband mostly was there, or the boyfriend, whoever it was, and they're like, oh no, it's okay. We understand she's a little girl, they're comfortable with that. I was like, okay, no problem, thank you guys. But before we even flew, I'm glad that we had everything packed, everything was in the car, everything was ready to roll, ready to rock. Thank you to Kayla, my love to your family for helping us out to get on this flight so that we could get there on time. So thank you, babe. Anyway, we did that. We also, what else happened? So when we landed in Seattle, we had, I think it was a 5-hour layover, because I guess some sort of plane issue or whatever. But here's the one thing I like about Seattle Airport is that inside the terminal, when you get past security and all that stuff, they have a little playground set there. So that saved us a huge headache. So my kids just took off, played in the playground. My wife and I tried to catch up on some sleep. And then after 5 hours, we jumped on the next plane, flew all the way over to Kona Airport, landed there, and got hit with the heat. The humidity, the heat, everything. It was rough, but I'm glad we made it there safely. Our kids were doing very fine. Melatonin came in handy on the flight, so that helped a lot. And then, so that being there, just the flight alone was an experience, especially for my youngest two, my 2-year-old and my 1-year-old. So they were happy to just be like, wow, this is what Hawaii is like. Because I don't think my 2-year-old remembers anything from the last time we flew home. And of course, this is my third daughter's very first time. So Lanai and Iolana just are experiencing the whole thing. And it's so cool to see in their eyes how, wow, this is different. It's so different. But they love the feeling of the island. So that made me happy. I got to bring these white kids back to Hawaii. But no. Thank you for those good people on the flight. Here's one thing I learned while I was out there in Hawaii. When it comes to my kids, they don't care if they drown or not. Okay? They really just decided, oh, this is water. Dad taught us. We've only swam in a pool. They've never experienced waves. At least my younger two. Never experienced waves. Never experienced salt water. But just decide, you know what? We're just going to run into the water and drown ourselves. Okay? So we go to Hapuna Beach the next day. And over in Kona side. And my rule is, okay, you guys got to get in the water. You got to get wet, at least up to your ankles. At least get your body wet, so you get you understand what the beach is like. So I can actually say we came to the beach, we swam in the water, right? My oldest daughter, India, she's fine. She jumps in the water, no problem. My second daughter starts freaking out, doesn't want to jump in the water, and of course my baby is a baby. She's kind of scared. They don't understand the waves. They don't understand the water coming up on the sand and all this stuff tickling their toes. But eventually, as I kept bringing them out over and over and over, they're like, oh yeah, no problem. This is fine. My dad's here. Water's calm. It's not pounding like Waimea Bay or anything like that. It's not pounding like Tumblelands. It's not even that big as Tumblelands in Nanakuli. So, or Waianae Beach Park. It's not as big as that. It's just real small, calm, mellow waves. And so, as the time goes by, one moment I'm taking my 1-year-old Iolana with me. I go out into the water. I'm like, okay, no problem. And she's loving it. She's like that. She's just like hanging on to me. We're bouncing up and down on the waves. And all I hear is this, Kali! Kali! I look back and my number 2 child, My crazy baboose child is running with the biggest smile on her face, super excited to be in the water, and just running after me. Dad, 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 just running, just trying to get wet, get in the water because she wants to swim with me. Now, is it the happiest moment of my life? Yes. Is it the scariest moment of my life? Yes. Did I want to punch her in the head? Yes. Because she didn't care that she couldn't breathe and she thought she could walk on water. My child literally just said, I'm going to drown until my dad comes and gets me. Mind you, she's literally maybe 2.5 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall. There's a huge gap of height between where she can reach the water, breathe, and walk, and she can't swim because she didn't have her floaties on. We forgot her floaties. She didn't put her floaties on, and she decided, I'm going to run out here and nearly just drown myself out here. So, of course, I panic. I drop my baby in the water. I run to get... No, I'm just kidding. I take Iolana with me. I run back to the shore, pick up my second child. I'm like, I look at her. Number 2, what are you doing, number 2? Why are you out here? And she said, I just want to swim with you, Daddy. I was like, okay. So we ended up just swimming, hanging out, having fun. It was worth it. So you think that after this drowning fiasco took place, mind you, they also caught waves and my oldest daughter got wiped out. It was pretty bad, but it was pretty cool at the same time. Anyways, you think that she would have learned her lesson, right? No. A couple days later, we ended up going to Puhi Bay in Kilka, where my family is originally from. That's kind of where my bloodline goes. And there's this bay called Puhi Bay, a place where my father, his ashes have been spread out there, along with my uncles. So we're going there. I'm like, okay, I haven't reached there yet because I had to park my car down the road. I couldn't park it right then and there, for a reason. But anyways, I thought I had to park my car down the road. Nothing happened. I pulled over. I did what I had to do, and my kids just took off. I forgot why I left. Anyways, they took off, ran into the water. This time, my second child had floaties on, but she still didn't care. She just ran, jumped into the water. My third child, my 1-year-old, didn't learn from her sister's drowning fiasco, decides, I'm going to go down this ramp, and I'm going to go and drown myself as well. I don't know. These kids, I'm overwhelmed and happy that they love the ocean. Don't get me wrong. I love that whole fact. But I'm a little tensed up about the self-drowning part. When Dad's not around, don't go in the ocean. Especially when you've never been in the ocean before, kids. Don't do that. Okay? This is a public service announcement to all people who have children. Watch them. Okay, watch them closely. Keep an eye on them because they decide I'm just gonna be venturous today, and whoop, they could be gone. Okay, so thankfully my wife was there. Grandma was there, able to watch our kids and just pull them right out, no problems. Hallelujah, because I would have definitely had another huge heart attack. Sorry, I gotta eat a donut. All this talking is making me hungry. Oh, and being at home was also really cool because all the good food. We literally had poke every single day. I was damn well, you could have just classified me as a black tip shark. Like, that's how much fish I had every day there, and I loved it. Poke bowls, salmon poke, different style poke, another poke bowl, like just on and on and on and on and on. And my daughter India loved it too because she was whacking some poke bowls too. So it was good fun, always good to be there. But there's also something crazy about being back home in Hawaii. Being there in Hilo of all places, like. We just know that there's a lot of tourism, and there's a whole lot more white people living there. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that's wrong is how they're able to live there, damn well near carefree, while the local people of the islands, the Hawaiians, the Koko, all of that, all those types of people have a struggling time. And I'm not saying all white people make it out, live there easy care, go free, because they don't. It's a lot of people who are retired, a lot of people who have this money who buy these lands and literally, slowly but surely, push the Hawaiians out because prices go up. Hawaiians cannot afford to live there anymore. It becomes a huge struggle. And, I'm not trying to be racist or anything like that, but that's what we saw. We went to Queen Liliuokalani Gardens. We saw a bunch of white people, more than normal. Okay, so when more than normal is on the table, you got to take a look. Sailboats out in the ocean like that we've never seen before. Growing up, they were never there. So all this stuff just accumulated over time, and just in the amount of time that we were gone, we weren't even gone that long. We've only been in Hawaii, in Utah for about 4 years. So like for all of that to take place, all of that to happen, it's pretty scary. It's not scary, but it's like hopefully eye-opening. So for all of you local people who still live in Hawaii, who are one of those people, you remind me of my brother. I'm born here. I wanna die here. Sometimes you might have to move away, and that's okay. That's okay. That's what we did. We decided, we might not like living in Hawaii anymore. But if we go somewhere and we venture, maybe we'll find another place to live. Because you're going to be Hawaiian forever. And the way you pass on Hawaiian traditions is you pass it on. You share it with your kids. You share it with those around you. You express it. You live it every day. Every day I go out and, people, Samoans, Tongans, whoever they may be, like, oh, what's up, Brian? What? Oosh. Tokoua. No, I'm not Samoan. I'm not Tongan. I'm Hawaiian. I'm your brother. Oh, Kaz, what's up? So yeah, if that's what's happening to you, and you guys are, here's my biggest thing, and this is what we've told a lot of family members of ours, friends of ours, who ask us 1,000 questions about living up here in Utah. They're like, we're kind of nervous. We don't really know what to do. I said, look, it's like moving to another island. You gotta find residence. You gotta find a job, right? Same difference. Only thing is, the flight is longer. The distance is longer. That's the only difference. But our mentality, and the mentality we're trying to share with our friends and family, is come up. Even if you want to just stay with us and visit and check it out for yourselves, so that you guys know what you guys want to do. Or you can take the full approach and be like, you know what? Let me give it a year. My best effort, find a job, do whatever I can, give my best effort. And if I hate it after a year, I will go home back to Hawaii. A year will not do anything. Things won't change that much in Hawaii after a year, especially in Hilo. But if that's what your guys' mentality is, come up and check it out. Take a look and see what is out here for you. And if it's not for you, if it's not something you think you can live with, then go back home. Ain't nothing wrong. At least you can say you tried. So you don't have that regret in the back of your mind 10, 15 years later when your kids are old and they go off to college and you're like, man, I wish I had gone out there. I wish I had tried. So this is my opportunity to tell you, try it out. Okay? All right, so there's a lot more stuff to go. So we did crazy gas prices, of course, ridiculous. Food is super expensive. It's like $7, $8 for a gallon of milk. Eggs was like $4 or $5 just for a dozen. Ridiculous. So I'm thankful we live here in Utah because things are pretty decently priced. So yeah. Anyways, we got to go to a first birthday party, which I was happy to perform at. Had a blast playing there. People came up and were commenting on the music I was playing. Somebody opened up a tip jar. I wasn't expecting to get tipped. It was kind of just a free gig, like a gift from us to them, to our friends. So congratulations to you guys, little nephew. Love you, big boy. Of course, hanging out with friends and family was the best. We got to hang out with my wife's sisters. And they're always fun. Her mom is such a great person. Her mom has always opened her home up to us, even when she didn't have much. I remember there's many times where we would come over to her home and she really didn't have that much food, but she would make what she could. And so when I saw that, and this is when my wife and I were dating, when I saw that, I was like, you know what, babe, let's just go out and let's just buy your mom, let's spend $400 on food and let's just buy her food. It doesn't matter. We will be fine. We'll figure it out. Because at the time, it was only me and her. So we figured everything out. We bought my mom like a bunch of different stuff. We bought fans for her room because it's hot in Hawaii. There's no AC. It's hot. So just hot, and that's what we experienced, was just hot. So we did that, so I have a deep love for my mother-in-law. She's a very, very good person, and she's always called me son. But the whole time she was there, she's like, the whole time she was there, because we came back for certain things, and one of them was my sister-in-law's wedding. She was like, my son-in-law is like, I would tell her, hey, Mom, I am the only one. Okay, I am the only son-in-law until the ring is on the finger until the ring is on the finger after the wedding, and they say I do. Don't put them in my category. And they started laughing. And these guys have been with these guys have been, these other guys they're good guys. Okay, these other guys that that have the potential to be brother-in-laws. And so the wedding happened. Of course, it was fun. My mother-in-law did inherit another son-in-law. So congratulations to my wife's sister, Kaylin, for being married to Kyoki. You guys have the best of life, and I hope nothing but God's best blessings to be upon you and your future with your children and so on and so forth. So hanging out with my wife's family was also fun because my wife is doing some pregnancy magic, and so I'm gonna quickly explain to you what that is, okay? Because we're going overboard with all this stuff, but pregnancy magic that she does is she holds this ring with hair, and she kind of just does this technique that she learned by doing studies and finding out how many kids you can have, this and that, gender and whatnot. So she did it with all her family members, even those who aren't in relationships, and it showed what the future holds for them as far as children wise. She did with all her sisters. They all had a blast. They all had a laugh about it. Then I was like, okay, here's the ultimate test. Let's see what happens with your mom. And so they did everything with her mom, and it was on point. Now, on point meaning from miscarriages to the amount of children she has today and how much she will have after, and it stopped. She won't have any more kids, according to this pregnancy magic ring thing, whatever. She won't have any more children, but for the children she may have lost along the way due to miscarriages or whatnot, and the children she has given birth to, everything was on point. The amount of children was on point. So I think it's scary. Of course, she explained to her grandma. She showed it to her grandmother. Her grandmother's like, "How did you learn this?" I said she got it from the book from Hocus Pocus. You know that one book? That's where she found the book and stole this idea. It's black magic. It's from. I was like, "This is black magic. This is from a place of darkness. Do not listen to this stuff." But of course, I was playing around. But it's pretty cool. And we hope nothing but the best. We're holding on to this belief that this next baby, because my wife is pregnant, our fourth child, we're hoping, crossing fingers, that it will be a boy. So hope you guys are in that pool with me as well, okay? Now, hanging out with family, catching up with stories and whatnot, that was always the best part about being home in Hawaii. And one of the best things that I enjoyed was visiting with my Uncle Duke. Now, my Uncle Duke is my dad's first cousin, and just hanging out with him has always been special to me. He's a guy that can make you laugh. He's a guy that can make you see things differently. He's a guy that, I really consider like another father. He's another father figure to me. And, just listening to his stories, laughing with him was always the best, because he always loves to talk about other people, and how he can be somewhat sarcastic and stuff. So that was the best. That was one of the best things. And the last thing I want to share is my friend's birthday. So we got to celebrate my friend's birthday. Surprised him, bought him a cake, and got to hang out with him. Now, while we were there, of course, my kids are all running around, having fun, doing whatever. And when me and him got a chance to talk, we just catch up. He's a police officer out there. He's trying to advance in the police force in Hilo and doing different whatever stuff with the security of Hilo, basically. And so he's a good guy, good friend of mine, my friend Jace. And we started talking story, and he and his wife Tia are very, very adamant about understanding autism. Their child has autism, and he's a beautiful, beautiful boy. I love this kid. He's very unique, of course, but I love the fact that my friend and his wife, basically our friends, are so upfront with autism. They have tattoos, they have different items that represent autism, and so I guess a symbol of autism is a puzzle, and they have different colors like the rainbow that go along with it, and so they have tattoos of that. And my friend Jace has an earring of a puzzle piece which represents autism. He also has a baseball glove that has that represents autism as well. And so to make things light, I was like, man, first of all, I congratulated him. I was like, man, you guys are awesome parents. You guys are great for taking this, and just some people are afraid to express it. Some people are, some people aren't, and they are one of those that are not afraid to let people know that yes, my child has autism. He's beautiful, he's smart, we do all these things, but I am basically like an ambassador for autism, right? So with that being said, I told him, man, that's great. I'm so happy for you guys. I love the fact that you guys are ahead of the game when it comes to something like this. And, maybe I should look into the deaf, finding out what the symbol is for the deaf. He goes, why? Oh, because my kids is deaf. My kids, whenever I call their name, they don't hear me. They deaf. So I might as well go get some deaf pieces, deaf symbols, whatever. What's the color for deafness? I'll get that too. Add that to me. I'll buy an earring with the deaf symbol on top. And so we're laughing. We're having a good time. And here comes my friend Jace, my best friend, pulls out his phone and goes, oh, bro, this is the symbol, okay? The symbol is this. It's like an I love you with your hands. And then the color, I think, is yellow or gold and gray. And I was looking at him, bro, you looked it up? He's like, yeah. Yeah, I looked it up. You said you were going to get symbols for your deaf kids. Might as well I pulled it up online and said, this is what we're going to look at. And I started laughing, like, bro, I didn't think you would actually look it up. He's like, yeah, no. Yeah, I'm going to get one too, because my other two kids is deaf. They don't have autism. They deaf. So we started laughing, having a ball, because that's true. That's exactly true. All parents need to wear that and be like, oh, Dad. So when my kids come around, I'll be like, Daddy, what is that? Oh, this to represent that you guys is deaf. And every time I call you guys don't listen. Every time I ask you guys for help me out, you guys don't listen. You guys don't pay attention. So this is for you guys. So I let everybody know, oh, my kids, they deaf. Okay? They deaf. Oh, my gosh. It's so funny. We started laughing. Had a wonderful, wonderful time. It was a blast. Being home in Hawaii, it was amazing. Okay? And, of course, there's so much more I want to share, but I'm going to wait till the next episode to do that. So let's get into it's news to me. All right. So I saw this on some random news. Oh, my goodness. I'm going way overboard. I saw this on some random news thing about corgis in San Francisco. So this article says hundreds of dogs return to San Francisco's beach for Corgi Con. Ta-da! This is brought to you by UPI.com, and it was also covered by other news outlets like NBC. So here we go. Let's click on it and let's figure out what this is. So I read this and I was like, this is stupid. Why would you have this thing? So literally, basically, hundreds of corgis come out to San Francisco's beach and they dress up. They dress up. Okay, so it goes. Hundreds of corgis and thousands of dog-loving humans gathered on San Francisco beach for the first Corgi Con since COVID-19. Corgi Con, which began in 2014, happens twice a year. Why? I have no idea. July and October, it says, on San Francisco's Ocean Beach. I must ask, what for? What for? Okay. Of course, it was canceled in 2022. Many corgis assembled, thousands of human, dog owners, admirers, etc., etc. Celebrities in attendance at the free admission event included Gatsby the corgi. Okay, now, this is getting ridiculous. Now they're calling corgis celebrities. I can understand Lassie. I can understand that. Lassie dope, okay? I don't know how many Lassies they had, but Lassie was dope, okay? Lassie saved lives. Flipper saved lives. Those are the animals you gotta put on a pedestal. Free Willy. That's the kind of guys, we grew up with that animal, okay? That thing was legit gonna save lives, okay? A canine influencer with thousands of followers and tens of millions of views on YouTube and Instagram. So this Gatsby, the corgi, lines to take photos with Gatsby formed throughout the day. There's a corgi costume contest where the corgis were dressed up as various celebrities and characters from pop culture, including Grogu, the Mandalorian's tiny little green friend, Baby Yoda. And I'm just like, first of all, my first and foremost question is, why? Why did this need to happen on a beach of all places? Now, growing up near a beach, living damn well near off the ocean, when there's thousands of people gathering together at the beach with signs, event posters, let's say music, random onlookers, it's usually because of a surf competition or a search party or a graduation party. Never in my life have I ever heard of something as ridiculous as this. They could have rented out an empty parking lot. They could have held it in the back of a Walmart parking lot. They did not have to be on the beach taking up space and not even being in the water. Why? And what is the importance of having a Corgi Con? That, in my opinion, is just for rich white folks to express their dogs and their animals and their breeds. Hey, that's fine. When Halloween comes around, by all means, let it loose. But not on San Francisco Beach. Not on property that's open to the public where people want to go out and enjoy the day. And then I have to see thousands and thousands of people look at miniature, not even full-grown dogs, okay? Because a full-grown dog, I'm talking about like it's a pit bull. That's full-grown. Taking little doggy shits all over the place and just ruining the beach. I see that as ruining the beach. I see that as, okay, these people couldn't have done it anywhere else. You couldn't have done it at a public park. You could have rented out the pavilion and have the dogs run around, play in the grass. You couldn't have done that? That couldn't have been a possibility? Let's just think about other people first. It did not have to be out in the sun. And corgis are furry creatures. Put them in a place where they'll be relaxed and calm. Anyways, I'm not an expert, but that's how I saw it. Anyways, that's pretty much it, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Hilo Hawaiian. My name is Kalei2K. If you want to check me out, go ahead and look me up on the Milkshake app. Just type in Kalei2K. Basically, Kalei2K on all social media. You'll find me. Look on my Facebook page for upcoming events, as long as Instagram as well. If you are in Utah, down near, we'll say, close to like Linden, Provo area, or maybe if you want to travel down there, I do perform at certain restaurants and whatnot. This week I have a performance on the 15th at Hungry Hawaiian. So Hungry Hawaiian in Provo, off of University Ave. Come down, check my social media for address and times. Hope you guys can make it and come and enjoy some great food, all right? That's it for today. Love each and every one of you. Take care, God bless, and always remember, spread aloha, not hate. Take it easy, Hawaiians. Aloha.